Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome and thank you for attending this special webinar on our All Around Ireland tour with Senior Discovery Tours, featuring Ireland expert Caoimhe Moloney. My name is Brianne, and I am the branch manager of our London, Ontario office. I have been working for Senior Discovery Tours for 18 years and have had the privilege of escorting many incredible tours. Please note, everyone has been muted to allow for the full enjoyment of this presentation. Should you have any questions at any time, please enter them into the Q&A section located at either the bottom or the top of your screen, depending on your device. On our agenda today, we will briefly discuss some updates regarding health and safety regulations and our new rewards and referral programs. Our guest speaker, Caoimhe, will take us on a virtual tour to explore Ireland. There will then be a question and answer period and a chance for one lucky attendee to win a $100 gift certificate towards their next trip with Senior Discovery Tours. The health and safety of our clients and staff are of the utmost importance, and we are thrilled that we have been awarded the Safe Travel Stamp by the World Travel and Tourism Council. Vaccination against COVID-19 will be required to participate in all of our tours. For your peace of mind, our insurance policy does cover against COVID-19 when traveling with us. During the travel pause, we have been busy enhancing our tour programs and operations. We are also introducing our exciting new Discovery Rewards and Blue Sky Referrals program in early 2022. We will formally announce the details of this program shortly and send you a link to enroll. In addition, another amazing new program is our Insider Club benefits. If you are part of a club or association, we will offer a 4% commission that will be paid directly to the club or association. For more information or to book a virtual presentation for your club, please contact us. Please rest assured that you can book your Senior Discovery Tours holiday with complete peace of mind. We will continue to be the travel industry leader by offering a refund policy that is far more flexible and generous than any other tour operator. You may now cancel your tour for any reason up to 60 days prior to departure and receive a full refund. Our Canadian and international tours for 2022 are open for booking. Our latest brochure, Volume 3, 2022, featuring our fall tours, can be viewed or downloaded on our website. If you are on our mailing list, you will receive a copy in the mail in the next few weeks. If you are not currently on our mailing list and would like to be, please subscribe on our website. Each season, we like to include new and unique, exciting tour destinations. Check out our latest brochure for more details on these incredible new tours. Now, on with our program. Today, we are joined by Ireland expert Caoimhe, who will take us on a virtual tour to explore the magic and mystery of Ireland. Caoimhe has been working with Senior Discovery Tours for over 20 years and has been in the tourism industry for nearly 30 years. Hi, Caoimhe. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Brianne. Good afternoon from Ireland, or rather good evening, because we're evening time here now in Ireland. I'm absolutely delighted to be here today to introduce Ireland to you all and showcase the All Around Ireland tour by Senior Discovery Tours. As Brianne said, my name is Caoimhe and I've been working for Senior Discovery Tours here in Ireland for 22 years. I've always really enjoyed working with this company. They're so determined to ensure their guests are always afforded the very best value, but also at the same time ensuring the best possible service is constantly delivered. They know Ireland. Their operations team know and understand Ireland. Their tour planners behind Senior Discovery Tours get Ireland. They know their suppliers, they know the people on the ground, they know the hotels and attractions. They've travelled the roads of Ireland themselves on many an occasion. They know their product inside out, and this makes our job so much easier here in Ireland. Now, this webinar is to showcase just one of Senior Discovery Tours packages, but They also have other tours that feature Ireland. There's a wonderful tour, for example, that starts in Scotland and takes in Scotland and Northern Ireland and Ireland. So remember to check that out as well. It's called the Celtic Connection Tour. It's a 16-day program, and any one of my colleagues back in the offices in Canada will be happy to discuss this program with you. But today we're just going to concentrate on the All Around Ireland tour. So let me tell you a little bit about Ireland. We're an island located to the west of England and to the northwest of Europe. Ireland is approximately 300 miles from north to south and about 170 miles from east to west. Our population in April 21 was just over 5 million, and that's the highest it's been in 170 years since the Great Potato Famine in 1847, where over 1 million people died of starvation and it forced millions of others to emigrate, many of them to Canada. Canada was a really popular option for Irish because the passage to Canada was much less expensive than to the United States. And the main destination for everybody heading to Canada was Quebec. And the journey was shocking. It was terrible across the Atlantic. A journey of 3,000 miles, took 6 weeks, crammed into ships that were called coffin ships carrying disease and illness. And many fortunate people who survived this awful journey, well, their descendants went on to play major roles in Canadian society. So of the 5 million people in Ireland, 645,000 are non-Irish nationals, which means about 1 in 8 of the population weren't born in the island. So it gives us a very interesting and multicultural outlook on life. About 14% of our population is over the age of 65, and around 25% is under the age of 18. Well over 50% of our students continue their studies into third level university or college or apprenticeships, which is way above the EU average. So we have a very highly skilled and highly educated population and workforce. So this in turn, with English as our spoken language, attracts a huge amount of foreign direct investment into Ireland. The average income in Ireland is approximately €850 a week, and the minimum wage is €10.20. So from the moment you take off from Canada, you'll have a senior discovery tour manager with you, guiding you through the airport in Dublin, through immigration and baggage collection, and finally walking you out to the coach park where you'll meet your driver guide, your new Irish best friend. So depending on your flight arrival time and your landing time and how quickly we get you through immigration, we'll be taking you on a panoramic drive of Dublin to gently wake you up after your flight to get into the Irish time zone. Dublin, on the east of Ireland, is the capital of Ireland, and it's the main entry and exit point for international visitors to our shores, and it's where senior discovery tours begin their vacation of Ireland. Like I said, Dublin is located on the east of the island of Ireland, right on the coast, with the airport 7 kilometres north of the city centre. So in Ireland, we're 5 hours ahead of Toronto, so you can work out the time difference yourself between Ireland and your hometown, because I know you have lots of different time zones. The island of Ireland consists of the Republic of Ireland, which is under Irish law and part of the EU, and Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom. And following Brexit, they're no longer part of the EU. The Republic of Ireland uses euros as we're members of the EU, and Northern Ireland uses pounds sterling, just like the rest of Great Britain. So on this tour that we're talking about today, you're going to visit both the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. So you will need euros and pounds on this trip. So make sure you make a mental note of it in your head, as some folks are surprised when they get here and they realize that they need 2 different currencies. 1 Canadian dollar is worth approximately 70 cents in euros and approximately 60 pence in pounds sterling. Now that's just an approximate rate, but obviously currencies change daily and hourly, and with international events that can make a major change in currencies. So we do accept credit cards everywhere here. We have Revolut and MasterCard and Visa, although American Express and Diners Club aren't overly accepted here in Ireland. And the COVID pandemic has pushed Ireland a little further down the road of having a cashless society, which is probably the direction that most countries are going now. So your credit cards will be widely accepted. Tap and go transactions are available on your cards for under €50. Other than that, you're going to have to need to use your PIN number. So I would suggest that you have a small amount of cash with you as well, both in euros and sterling, to make small incidental purchases, like teas or coffees while you're out on the tour each day. So back to our itinerary. After we meet you in Dublin Airport, your luggage is going to be placed in the luggage compartment underneath the coach, and you'll step on board with your small carry-on and take your seat. Now, it's really important that you pack correctly, and most importantly, pack lightly. Everybody takes way too much on vacation. So you're restricted to one small carry-on bag and one suitcase. And you'll need to ensure that your carry-on bags fit in the overhead locker of the coach. And do remember that the overhead lockers in the motor coach are a lot smaller than the ones in the aeroplane. Seat belts are provided on board the coach. Make sure you buckle up, please. It is the law. So once we're all comfortable in the coach should leave the airport and head to the city. Your rooms will be ready from 3 p.m. onwards, and that's in line with all international check-in times worldwide. Now, I know you're going to be tired and maybe a little bit grumpy, but that's why we're going to take you on a gentle panoramic tour to waken you up. So if time allows, we will stop at the Phoenix Park. And Dublin people are just really, really proud of the Phoenix Park. It's a huge walled parkland right in the heart of our city. It's 1,752 acres and the perimeter walls are 7 miles in length. The Phoenix Park is home to Dublin Zoo, which is one of the best zoos in the world, and also our Snooptron, which is the formal residence of the Irish president, and you'll be able to see it through the trees. The president is elected directly by the Irish people, and his term or her term is 7 years. We currently have President Higgins, and he is on his second term, and he's immensely popular with the Irish people. It's also home, the Phoenix Park is also home to the American ambassador's residence, and to Farm Lee, which is the official Irish state guest house for foreign visiting dignitaries. So if the weather and flights and traffic behave, we'll have time for coffee in the visitor centre here in the Phoenix Park before heading to our hotel just located on the city limits, and you'll have time to freshen up before our first dinner together. Now, it's really important that you head to bed early and get yourself a good night's sleep. So on the following day, it's Saturday morning, we'll meet our local expert Dublin tour guide for an exciting morning filled with Dublin's history. We'll visit St. Patrick's Cathedral and the Book of Kells, which is located in the library in Trinity College. You'll see Georgian Dublin, the Halfpenny Bridge, James's Gate, the home of Guinness, the GPO, and all the images of Dublin that you would have seen in postcards and TV adverts over the years. And the afternoon then is free for you to grab some lunch and do a little bit more further exploring yourself. There was a great announcement recently by the Lonely Planet Guide ranking Dublin as one of the top 10 cities in the world to visit in 2022. Dublin is a buzzy cosmopolitan city. It's my original hometown and home to 1.4 million people. That's just 28% of the population of Ireland. Now, like every other city, we have traffic issues, but we're working hard as a nation to reduce our traffic and reduce emissions, increase walkways and cycleways in the cities and towns. So let's take a quick look at this video clip celebrating the Lonely Planet news. Now, tonight, Senior Discovery Tours have a treat in store for you. It's a visit to Taylor's Tree Rock, a large and very famous pub located not too far from our hotel, right at the base of the Dublin Mountains. And it's home to Ireland's most famous cabaret show. You're going to enjoy great seats upstairs. Now, there is a lift if anyone has any mobility issues. And you're going to have a great night with crack agus ceol, which means fun and music. Crack has a few meanings in Ireland. Great crack means great fun. What's the crack means how are you or what's happening. But don't worry, you'll be fluent in all of this before you go home. But back to our night in Taylor's. There's great food, music, comedy, dancing and singing. You're going to love it. Very hard not to tap your feet now listening to that. So after the show, we'll take you right back to the hotel where you can have another good sleep before we leave Dublin and head southbound. So on Sunday morning, we're going to leave Dublin and we're going to head south to County Waterford. Our first stop is going to be Jack Mead's pub, where we're going to have a great lunch, followed by dessert and tea or coffee. And Tommy Comerford will be on site to entertain us with traditional Irish music while you're enjoying your tea or coffee. You won't be able to stop your feet tapping underneath you. Then after lunch, it's back on the motor coach for a short 5-mile journey into Waterford City. And our hotel tonight is located right in the heart of the city, right on the quays. Now, dinner's not included this evening, but your tour manager can make lots of recommendations for local restaurants and pubs for you to visit, all within walking distance of our hotel. So the following morning is Monday morning. So we're going to be up bright and early. And we're going to have a full Irish breakfast because it would be very rude not to. And then we're going to make the short little trip down to the House of Waterford Crystal. It's really only around the corner from our hotel. Waterford Crystal is an iconic brand synonymous with Ireland. It's an example of a classic Irish product known throughout the world, of beautiful, beautiful and stunning craftsmanship. It's available throughout the world, but you're going to see where it's actually from today. You'll see crystal blowing and mold making. You'll see quality inspection and finishing, crystal cutting, sculpting. You'll even see engraving. Our journey through the factory will last about an hour. And then after that, you'll have some time to visit their incredibly elegant showroom where you may want to purchase something as a special gift. And remember, you can ship nearly everything back home. There's no need to minding it, packing it, or bringing it on the bus. You can ship everything. Now, this might be a good time to tell you about tax back in Ireland. As a non-EU visitor to Ireland, you are going to be exporting your purchases out of Europe. So that entitles you to sales tax back. Now, sales tax, or VAT as it's known in Ireland, is 23%. So if you buy something that costs 123 euros, 23 of it is the tax that you are entitled to claim back. So look at it another way, it's 18.7% of your purchase price. So certain shops will deduct it at the point of sale, but you'll need to check it out with the store before you make the purchase. And new rules that were brought in last year require the transaction to be over 75 euros. So if you plan to buy a lot of little things as gifts, try and buy them all in the one store and get a receipt for over 75 euros. And you can get all the information that you need on this on shoptaxfree.com. I'd suggest you plan ahead, apply for the card in advance of your holiday to Ireland, and make sure you register it online before you get here. So our next stop today is to Cobh Heritage Centre in the town of Cobh. Now, if you look at the name here, C-O-B-H, you'd immediately think you'd pronounce it maybe Cobh, but the B-H in Irish, Oscuelga, is pronounced as a V. So Cobh was previously known as Queenstown, and it was not just the last place the Titanic set sail from, but also the last place that many Irish emigrants left Ireland for their new lives overseas in the 1800s. The Heritage Centre, right in the heart of the town, tells the story of some of these emigrants and brings to life their struggles. And it's an interesting experience. And look, although it's a sad story, it's actually a really enjoyable place to visit. And you do the tour at your own pace. And if you're of Irish descent, this will be a very special place for you. The coach will be waiting for you outside, unless it's a cruise ship day, because Cobh is a massive visiting port for cruise ships to Ireland. But either way, the coach will be in the vicinity and you'll board the coach again. And this time we're heading to Blarney Castle, which is about 30 minutes away. Blarney, well, it's a magnificent tower built 600 years ago, and home, of course, to the Blarney Stone, situated right up the top of the 120 steps. So take your time if you're going up. So for those who dare to climb to the top of the embankment to reach the stone, it could be well worth it. Legend says that if you kiss the stone, you'll never be lost for words. Or as we say in Ireland, you'll be blessed with the gift of the gab. Now, some say it was Jacob's pillow brought to Ireland by the prophet Jeremiah. It was also said to be the death pillow of St. Columba on the island of Iona and then moved to mainland Scotland. And when Cormac McCarthy, the King of Munster, sent 5,000 men to support Robert of Bruce in his defeat against the English in 1314, a portion of the stone was then given by the Scots to the Irish in gratitude. And others say the stone was brought back from the Crusades, and some even claim it was the stone that gushed water when it was struck by Moses. Now, look, Whatever the truth of its origins are, it is here in the town of Blarney at the top of Blarney Castle waiting for you. So Blarney is also our overnight destination this evening. Our hotel is located right in the heart of this gorgeous village. So while you're visiting Blarney Castle, your driver guide will head over to the hotel and deal with your luggage, and the porters will drop it up to your room. So they'll be waiting for you there on arrival. So the rest of the afternoon is entirely yours at leisure at your own pace. So you could visit the gardens in Blarney Castle. Your ticket includes entry to that. They've got walled gardens and a poison garden, a fern garden. They've even got a bog garden, which looks like a prehistoric landscape. So take your time, enjoy Blarney Castle and enjoy the grounds. And then afterwards, why don't you stroll over to the world famous Blarney Woolen Mills. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Blarney Woolen Mills. It's the most famous and largest Irish heritage store in the world, offering the very, very best of Irish goods and synonymous with quality Irish knitwear, especially classic and contemporary Aran sweaters. And remember, a few moments ago, I was telling you about the tax back scheme. Well, here's a great place to buy all those gifts for folks back home. Maybe buy yourself a treat too, and at the same time, avail of the VAT discount. Tonight, our dinner will be in the hotel in Blarney Village. So on Tuesday morning, we're going to leave our hotel after breakfast and we're going to head to Killarney. Now, Killarney is the capital of tourism in Ireland. It's just a lovely, booming, blooming, colourful town that really depends on tourism. So the green carpet will be rolled out in abundance here for you. So the first thing we're going to do when we arrive into Killarney is meet the Tagney family and their team, who will be waiting for us with their jaunting cars, which is Pony and Trap. And they'll take you on a tour through Killarney National Park, regaling you with stories of folklore and history of the area. And the ride will take you right to the heart of the national park and end at Mucker's house. A magnificent Victorian mansion and one of Ireland's most finest stately homes. The building began for Mucker's house in 1839 and it took 4 years to build. The house stands close to the shores of Mucker's Lake, one of Killarney's 3 lakes, and it's famed for its splendour and beauty. It's an absolute artist's dream. And it was built by Henry Arthur Herbert and his wife Mary, who was an incredibly accomplished Victorian watercolourist. The house was designed by William Byrne, the well-known Scottish architect. And in the 1850s, the owners undertook a massive garden project, preparing the site for a royal visit by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert in 1861. So when you visit Mucker's house, you'll be able to go into it and see the principal rooms that are furnished in Victorian style and show the elegant lifestyle that the 19th century people enjoyed. You'll even see the basement where the servants worked, ensuring life upstairs was perfect. The royals did visit, and the visit did happen in August 1861, just several months before Prince Albert passed away. And it most certainly put Killarney on the map as the country's foremost destination for tourism, even way back then. But it was at a huge cost to the Herbert family, who ended up covering most of the cost of this extravagant visit directly themselves. In the mid-1880s, the Herbert family were hit with financial insecurity, and that wasn't helped with political uncertainty at the time in Ireland, and the house was closed up and left empty, and the family eventually lost it, and the 1,300-acre and the house were repossessed at the end of the 19th century. So it was sold on to Lord Ardilaun, who was a member of the Guinness family, of Guinness beer fame. And it in turn then was sold in 1911 to a Californian businessman who gave it to his daughter Maud as a wedding present. And herself and her husband carried out a number of developments over the years, over the next 20 years. And when she died, the house was presented as a gift to the Irish state. And Mucker's estate and the grounds actually became Ireland's first national park. The house remained closed, though, until 1964, when a group of locals concerned that the house was closed for 30 years after it had been given to the state came together and created a trust board for Mucker's house. And together with funding from the government, they opened it up as a destination. So tonight we're going to head out on an evening excursion. So you can grab dinner locally tonight yourself in Killarney. Dinner hasn't been included the 2 nights that we're in Killarney, but there's an abundance of bars and restaurants and even fast food places to eat in Killarney. So you'll have no trouble finding somewhere nice for dinner. So our excursion tonight is to Tralee, a town 30 minutes drive north of Killarney, to Sheemsa, which is Ireland's national folk theatre. And we're going to an evening seated performance celebrating the very, very best of Irish heritage through music and song and dance. It's quite a late return to our hotel, but don't worry, we have allowed a wee lie-in for you the following morning. So the next day is Wednesday, and we're going to visit the Ring of Kerry. Today we're going to embark on an epic journey, a famous driving route around Ireland, which is known as the Ring of Kerry. It's a 100-mile winding route on the wild Atlantic Way. It's a fantastic drive. It takes about 6 hours, taking into account time for lunch, stopping for photos. You'll see every shade of green today on this drive, combined with gentle browns of boglands and yellow gorse bushes and purple and whites of heather. So the scenery is just magnificent. It's where the aqua blue waters of the Atlantic Ocean first crash into European shores, creating dramatic, sweeping, rugged coastline scenery. Now, we'll be stopping multiple times so you can hop off and hop on the coach and take fantastic photographs. We're going to stop along the way as well for a taste of Irish farm life too. We're going to meet a local sheep farmer who'll give us a demonstration of sheepdog herding. Sheepdog herding of sheep up and down the mountain. So have your cameras ready. It's a great display of the special connection between a man and his dog. So we're going to pass through Glen Bay, Cahersiveen, Waterville, Coombe-Kishta, Caherdaniel and Sneeb. A seriously pretty village full of colourful houses. It's my favourite stop on the Ring of Kerry. And we will head back then to Blarney tonight, to the same hotel that we were staying in last night. So the following day is Thursday, and we're moving on from County Kerry. And our first stop is going to be the gorgeous village of Adare in County Limerick. It's home to Adare Manor, one of Ireland's most luxurious hotels. In fact, one of the most luxurious hotels in the world. It's going to be the venue of the Ryder Cup in 2027 as well. We previously hosted the Ryder Cup in Ireland in 2006. So we're going to stop at this gorgeous heritage town, and we're going to have some time to stroll and explore, take some wonderful photographs of Thatch Cottage, a beautiful, beautiful town, and maybe grab a coffee or two. Moving on then, we're going to travel through Limerick City and onto the Cliffs of Moher in County Clare, right on the western shore of Ireland. A sweeping, dramatic, unspoilt open space where the cliff stretch right along the coast for 5 miles, reaching a height of up to 702 feet at their highest point. There's an award-winning visitor centre here with displays and information talking about conservation, and you'll learn an awful lot about the area. You can learn all about the flora and fauna, and hopefully it's a bright day and you'll be able to see all the way to Dingle Peninsula and the Blasket Islands in Kerry, and all the way to the Aran Islands to the west. So if you think these cliffs are familiar from the photographs, that's because they've been featured as a backdrop in lots of different movies. Harry Potter now will spring to mind. So our afternoon drive continues across the Burren area of County Clare. It's a 1,500-acre national park, and it's internationally famous for its limestone landscape, which is nearly moon-like. It's breathtaking, it really is. It's an incredibly beautiful, stunning drive. And our drive will bring us into Galway tonight, and we're going to be staying in a city known as the City of Tribes. Senior Discovery Tours have arranged a night out for us tonight at a great local pub where dinner is included, and we'll all dine together. So Friday is the day that we're going to explore Connemara, the Connemara region of Ireland. Wait until you see Caoimhe Abbey. It's set in the backdrop of Connemara's rugged landscape. It's one of Ireland's true gems, built as a castle in 1871 and was home to the Benedictine nuns who set up here in 1921 when their abbey in Belgium was destroyed in World War I. They set up a boarding school here for girls, which was in operation as recently as 2010. So we can visit the Abbey now, and you can see the beautifully restored Victorian era rooms, and you can visit the church beside the Abbey, which was built in 1881. It's a miniature version of a neo-Gothical 14th century cathedral, which was originally Anglican, but it's now Catholic. The craftsmanship is just awesome, with 4 types of Irish marble and beautiful stained glass. So be sure to take time to pop in and visit it while you're here. It was designed by James Franklin Fuller, an architect who was born at Sneeb in County Kerry, the place that I told you about, which was my favourite place in the Ring of Kerry. So you will have seen where he came from, and now you're going to see some of his work. He also designed Ashford Castle, another very famous world luxurious hotel, and Farm Lee, the state guest house that we talked about, which is located in Phoenix Park when we were doing the city tour of Dublin. So while you're here, you have to visit the walled Victorian gardens. Your entry ticket to Caoimhe Abbey allows you access to here as well. Get some inspiration for your garden at home. It's an oasis of order and calm, in total contrast to the wild of the Connemara countryside that are surrounding it. It was developed in the late 1800s and is one of the very last walled gardens in Ireland. It's 6 acres of absolute perfection, and the site is divided in half by a natural mountain stream. So take time to stroll around here reading the self-guided panels throughout the garden, and you'll learn all about the extensive restoration journey the garden has undergone to restore it to its former glory. It's amazing. It's an absolute jewel in the crown of Connemara. So our next stop today is an hour away. It's the town of Westport in County Mayo, where we're going to overnight. It's at the southeast corner of Clew Bay. It has aqua blue waters. It's an inlet of the Atlantic Ocean, right in the shadow of Crowpatrick, Ireland's sacred mountain, which is only just 10 kilometres away. Crowpatrick is one of Europe's best known places of pilgrim, where pilgrims climb barefooted in the footsteps of St. Patrick, who spent nearly 40 days and 40 nights fasting here over 1500 years ago. It's here where St. Patrick was credited with driving the snakes and the demons out of Ireland. It's about 750 meters high and takes about 3.5 hours to climb to the top. But don't worry, you're on vacation. We're not going to make you climb it on this tour. So Westport is a heritage town, which are towns that have their own unique character, rich in ancient history and cultural attractions that are of interest to visitors. The town of Westport is one of only a few planned towns in Ireland. It was commissioned in 1780, nearly 250 years ago, by John Brown of Westport House as a place for his workers and his tenants to live, because he cleared the original village, which was home to 700 people, to create a front lawn for Westport House. The house was laid out, or sorry, the town was laid out in a Georgian architectural style, and Westport has won first prize in tidy towns numerous times. That's an annual search for Ireland's tidiest, prettiest, cleanest villages or towns. There's lots of categories in this competition, and it's taken very, very seriously by local committees and organisations. And you'll see why Westport has won this top prize numerous times from the moment you step off the coach. It's also won best place to live in Ireland as well. So look, enjoy your time here, perhaps with a drink or two in a local pub. One of Ireland's most famous musical sons, the world-renowned Matt Molloy of the Chieftains fame, owns a pub located right in the heart of the town. It's a very intimate venue where they have live music sessions every night, and if Matt isn't away on tour, there's a high chance that you will find him here at one of the sessions. So pop in before or after dinner to enjoy some seriously authentic Irish pub life. Now, the following morning, it's Saturday. We're going to head north. This is going to be the first time you'll be traveling into Northern Ireland. And do you remember I told you at the beginning of this that you will need sterling? Well, this is the first day that you will need it. So first of all, we're actually going to go to a small area of Drumcliff, just outside Sligo town. And we're going to make a quick visit to William Butler Yeats's grave. Yeats was an Irish poet, one of the most significant feature figures of the 20th century literature. His work was greatly influenced by the heritage and politics going on of Ireland at the time. And he won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1923. This peaceful country graveyard is his final resting place. It's at the foot of Balboa Mountain on what was originally a monastery that was founded by St. Columkill, also known as St. Columba, over 1500 years ago. So while you're here, check out the remains of the 11th century round tower and high cross. So our next stop this afternoon is going to be Balleek Pottery, established over 170 years ago. And this factory produces porcelain. You'll recognize it the moment you see it. Senior Discovery Tours have organized a private tour of the workshop. It's an opportunity to watch master craftspeople working on this delicate china. And afterwards, you'll have an opportunity to purchase some stuff in their gift store. And remember again, everything can be shipped back home. No need to carry anything or worry about it. So we will leave Northern Ireland again, and we will travel west, back across into the Republic of Ireland, to the town of Letterkenny in County Donegal to overnight, and we'll be based here for the next 2 nights. So on Sunday morning, we're going to crisscross again back into Northern Ireland, and our first port of call is Derry. Derry is Ireland's very first planned city. It was built in the 17th century as part of the plantation of Ulster, and the high walls were obviously to defend the city and protect the Scots and the English planters who had moved over to Ulster as part of the plantation of Ulster that had been created by James I. These ancient city walls are still very much intact, and you can walk along them. In fact, we'll take you on a guided tour with our brilliant local tour guide, where you'll learn about the city's complicated history and get some background into more modern times in Northern Ireland during the 1970s. Our driver guide will then take us by coach through the Bogside area of Derry, where you'll see the famous murals painted on gable walls depicting Bloody Sunday, which happened right here in 1972. Bloody Sunday came to be regarded as was one of the most significant events of the Troubles in Northern Ireland and changed Ireland's history forever. We'll then leave Derry and we will continue back over to Donegal to Glenveigh Castle. Now, Glenveigh Castle has some really interesting history behind it. It was built by a really wealthy landlord, John George Adair. One of his land stewards was murdered in 1861, and because the murder remained unsolved, he decided to blame all his tenants and evict them all, everybody from Derryveigh. Some of them died on the roadside, died in the workhouse. And he paid for some of the youth to be shipped away to Australia and America and Canada. And then he swapped all his tenants for Scottish sheep. And he built a castle right beside it on the next site. The castle was to be a hunting lodge and somewhere for himself and his American-born wife to entertain their friends. And it took 6 years to build. But he died suddenly afterwards, and it was his wife that got to enjoy the house as a summer house for hosting her rich society friends until 1916. The castle was empty then for a few years, and it had a few different owners. And in 1937, it was bought by an Irish-American man called Henry McElhenney. And in 1975, he gave the land of the estate to the nation, and it became a national park. And then in 1983, he gave the castle itself. So that was opened in 1986 as a tourist attraction. The gardens are located, well, they're just surrounded by loch and cliffs and mountains, and the backdrop is just fantastic. Take some time to wander around and enjoy it. The interior of the castle is currently undergoing restoration work, so may or may not be open when you visit there. But either way, it's a superb visit and you will enjoy your time here. So after our visit to Glenveigh, we're going to go back to Letterkenny to our hotel and overnight and have dinner together. So today now is Monday morning, and we're going to leave Donegal again, and we're going to go back into Northern Ireland to the Giant's Causeway. This is one of the most iconic landscape images used to promote Ireland internationally. So I'm sure you'll recognise it from the slide here. It's Northern Ireland's first UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's a geological wonder. There's tens of thousands of stone columns left by volcanic eruptions 60 million years ago, and you can walk right down to the hill to them. You can walk on them, you can sit in them. It's a superb backdrop for you to take a smashing photograph. There's a visitor centre here too, which will help you access some of the legends associated with the area, especially about Finn McCool, one of the greatest hunter warriors in Irish mythology. So after our visit, our next stop is to Belfast, which is about 2.5 hours drive. And we're going to spend 2 nights in Belfast. Belfast is a very vibrant and exciting, colourful city, bursting with enthusiasm to welcome international visitors. The city's landscape has changed dramatically just over my lifetime. There's a wonderful pub scene, it's a safe city, it's easy to walk around and get your bearings. Our hotel is right in the city centre. So the following morning, it's Tuesday. We're going to slow down the pace a little bit, and we're going to let you catch your breath and have a little lie-in. So that morning, we're going to meet our local Belfast city tour guide downstairs in the lobby of the hotel, and we're going to go on a city tour. You're going to see Queen's University, City Hall, the Titanic Quarter, Crumlin Road Jail, Stormont, which is the Northern Ireland Parliamentary Building. And the tour will end this morning at the Titanic Belfast, which is an utterly brilliant interactive museum telling the story of one of the world's most famous, or maybe infamous ships, which was built right here in Belfast. Building work started in 1909, and it took 3 years to build it, before its ill-fated maiden journey across the Atlantic in 1912. The museum is huge. It's incredibly interesting. I've been there so many times since it opened 10 years ago, and I always learn something new every time I go. You'll really, really enjoy this. So take your time, you do this visit at your own pace, and then the rest of the afternoon is completely yours to relax or explore Belfast a little further. So the following day is Wednesday. We're going to head southbound on our final leg of our Irish adventure. Our first stop is going to be Carlingford, which is a really pretty town right at the beginning of Ireland's ancient East. It's got narrow laneways and small streets and pretty shops and cafes. Take your time, wander around here, and then we board the coach again and we head for our final night hotel in County Meath in the town of Trim. So Trim is home to Trim Castle, Ireland's largest Norman castle, built in the 12th century. It started in 1172 and it took 30 years to complete. You may think it looks familiar to you, and it probably does because it was used in the filming of the blockbuster movie Braveheart. Trim starred as the English fortified town of York, so you may want to watch the movie again before coming to Ireland. You may ask why they used Ireland as a location for what was essentially a Scottish story, but that was down to our massive tax breaks for the arts and entertainment industry. Another part of Trim Castle was also used as London Square. So you're going to have a guided tour of the castle leading right up to the battlements. And if height is not your thing, don't worry about it. You can take a walk around the grounds or the perimeter walls. We'll have a final farewell dinner in our hotel right by the castle. And then it's time to pack your bag and get a good night's sleep before heading home the following day. So our final day is Thursday. Trim is less than 1 hour to Dublin Airport. It's north of the airport. So we'll be leaving them plenty of time to allow you time to check in and sort out your tax back and maybe even buy some duty-free shopping before boarding your flight home. So I've told you all about our all around Ireland tour today, and I hope I've pushed your interest and curiosity just a little bit further, that you'll consider joining Senior Discovery's tour to Ireland in the near future. Ireland is open and we're ready for business, and we can't wait to welcome our international visitors back. So reach out to any of my colleagues in the offices in Canada if you have any further questions, you need more information, or you want further clarity on anything that I've told you about today. So please, please, please come over and see us soon with Senior Discovery Tours. Back to you now, Brianne.
Thank you, Caoimhe. That was incredibly in-depth, such a remarkable presentation. And trust me, we are just as eager to get there as you are to welcome us. Please know, everyone, our next offering of All Around Ireland is this coming May, as well as this September. We'll be offering 3 different departures in September, and all of these tours are now open for booking. So we're now going to move into the question and answer segment. If you have any questions, just enter them into the Q&A box and I will pass it on to Caoimhe. So we will begin, I guess, with everybody's main question usually when booking a tour is all about food. So what type of food can we expect to be trying in Ireland?
Well, we have great food in Ireland. We think we're the best. Typically you'll have a starter, a main course, and dessert. You could have soups or salad or bruschetta or something like that as a starter. We have lots of nice different types of salads. And then main course will be, it'll be maybe a fish, possibly a salmon or cod. You'll have pork or beef. We also have Irish stew, which is very famous. And then dessert will follow dinner. But we have really lush green grass, which produces beautiful lamb, beautiful beef. We have fantastic food.
Excellent. Yes. So a nice variety. You spoke of a couple times throughout your presentation of a full Irish breakfast. Can you describe what that is to everybody?
I can. A full Irish breakfast is something you should have just on holidays only. It consists of sausage. It's always pork sausage, bacon, which we actually call rashers in Ireland, black and white pudding, which is pork mixed with spices and oatmeal, and it could have tomato on it as well. look, you're on holidays, eat. You can have a fried egg, but sometimes people decide to pretend they're healthy and have a poached egg or scrambled egg. But a real Irish breakfast has 1 or 2 fried eggs on it as well. Now, if a full Irish breakfast isn't your thing, there's cereals and yogurts and fruit and croissants available as well in the hotel.
Well, we're not watching our waistline on holidays.
No,
so
we're on holidays.
Yeah. And are most of the meals taken in at the hotels, or do we go to local restaurants and pubs and enjoy that atmosphere?
Well, Senior Discovery Tours have given you a variety of options here on the tour. Some of our meals are in the hotel. Some of them are out at local pubs that we travel to. Some of them are at the show. And then we have 3 nights, one in Waterford and 2 in Killarney, where your dinner is not included, and you have the ability to go out and experience Irish life and Irish culture directly yourself and meet some local people. So there's lots of pubs, lots of restaurants at all different price levels that you can go and enjoy.
Excellent. So lots of opportunity for different things. And will there be water available on the coach every day, or should we bring reusable water bottles with us?
Yeah, well, we will have water available the first morning when you arrive. There will be a bottle of water there waiting for everybody. But we do recommend that you bring your own keep bottle, to reduce your carbon footprint and reduce emissions. It's very important that we travel and bear in mind sustainability. So I would recommend that you bring your own keep bottle, and you can drink the tap water in Ireland, so you can fill it every morning before you leave.
Excellent. Yes. Protecting the environment is most important. So you're right. Yeah. Now, you did discuss, we are moving quite a bit on this tour. We're seeing lots of stuff, lots of exciting stuff. Could you walk us through how much walking is involved on a daily basis?
Well, there is a certain amount of walking included in this tour. It's fine for most people. If you use, for example, a stroller or a wheelchair, it wouldn't really be suitable. But everybody else, you can just take your time and you can enjoy it at your own pace. Now, if you don't want to do the little bit of walking, that whether it's the walls of Derry or down to the Giant's Causeway or the cliffs of Moher, you can go to a nearby coffee shop or pub and sit down and relax. You won't be able to stay on the coach because the coach will be locked, because there's lots of people's personal possessions on board. So the coach will be locked. You can't stay on it if the coach is locked, but there's always somewhere that you can go and sit down and relax and have a coffee or have a pint.
Yeah, well, that's good information about the coach being locked. We do get that question quite a bit. So thank you for covering that. We do have a question coming in. So will they have a chance to visit a horse farm or the horse races?
No, not on this particular tour. They would not.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And we saw how many different shades of gray, or how many different shades of green there is in your beautiful country. So I'm wondering, I'm sure you experience different weather patterns all throughout. So what type of clothing should we bring?
Yeah, well, Ireland enjoys a very mild climate. Our winters are nowhere near as cold as your winters, and our summers are never anywhere near as warm as your summers. So it's a very mild climate. So we do have lots of green, and that is down to soft, gentle rain coming down. There's not much difference in the weather between May and September.
Okay.
So, just pack lightly, bring layers, maybe bring a small little umbrella in your checked-in bag, not your carry-on bag. It won't be allowed through security. Bring a jacket, a jumper, bring a waterproof jacket. But most important, be able to take it off, because you could have all 4 seasons in one day in Ireland.
Yeah, so layering clothes for sure.
Layering.
Perfect. And for our more tech-savvy seniors who want Wi-Fi, is this available in all the hotels and on the buses?
Yeah, we have Wi-Fi in all our hotels in Ireland. Some towns even have free Wi-Fi. There will be Wi-Fi available on board the coach. However, some areas, there's just no signal to it that you'll be traveling. They're remote, rural areas. So you shouldn't be on your phone anyway when you're on tour. You should be looking out the windows.
Yeah, very true. Very true. We have another question from the audience. So they're wondering if food intolerances are accommodated on this tour at
Yes,
restaurants and
yes,
hotels? Okay.
yeah, absolutely. When you're making your reservation, make sure you tell the reservation agent that, you know, whether you're celiac, lactose intolerant, or a peanut allergy, it's very important that you give that information at the time of booking, and that
Mhm.
is given to us here, and we give it to the hotel. So really, really important that you make us aware in advance of it.
Fantastic. Now, what would a typical day on tour be like? Would it be really early mornings and late evenings, or do we kind of accommodate for good
Yeah.
timing?
No, we're on vacation. We don't get up too early. We would normally leave between 8 and 8:30 on the bus,
Okay,
and we're normally back to our hotel really no later than 5:30. That would be nearly as late as we would get back.
excellent. So we're not watching our waistlines and we're not rushing. So this is perfect. um, Now, this is a very full itinerary. I know sometimes we do get questions about um, optional tours and stuff. I would presume that's not something that's offered on this tour.
No, there's no optional excursions offered on this particular tour. But if you want to see something particular yourself, do mention it to your driver guide or your tour manager, and they will do their best to facilitate, you know, assisting you getting to where you need to go.
Excellent. And is there much free time to shop for all of our shoppers?
There's always time to shop in Ireland. Always.
Excellent. Um, is there washrooms available on the coach, and are you allowed to use them?
Yeah, there is emergency WCs on board the motor coach. But like I said at the beginning of this presentation, it is the law in Ireland that you remain seated while the coach is moving wearing your seatbelt. So they really are only designed for an emergency. Now, our tour each day will only travel for about 2 hours
Mhm.
maximum without stopping. So wherever we stop, there will be toilet facilities, and you have the opportunity to grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. So it should
Okay.
never be a situation where you
Right.
really need the bathroom. We do stop frequently en route.
Excellent. Perfect. Now, is there a physical border crossing between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland?
No, absolutely not. There's no physical border at all.
Okay. And for our people who like to stay up in the evening, have a nightcap, watch some entertainment, is there lots of nightly entertainment going on in either the hotel or in close by pubs and stuff?
Yeah, there's always music in pubs in Ireland. You just need to walk down the street, and your ears will direct you where to go. Absolutely.
Perfect. Excellent. And it's perfectly safe just to leave the hotel in the evening and wander about.
Yeah, Ireland is the same as anywhere else. Just use your common sense when you're
That's
walking
right.
around. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. And our last question, which actually came in from the audience as well, was, is there going to be time to go to the Guinness Storehouse or the Jameson Distillery?
Yeah, on your second day, which is Saturday, your afternoon is yours at leisure. So yes, you would have time to visit either Jameson or Guinness. You wouldn't really have time to do both. But if you want to go and see this, I would recommend that you book it in advance online before you get here, because both of them are very busy attractions, and you wouldn't want to turn up and be full and be turned away or have to wait a long time in line. So make sure if you wanted to visit either Jameson or Guinness or Pierce Lines or Teeling, any of the distilleries and breweries, that you book it in advance. So the Saturday afternoon will be the time to do that in Dublin.
Wonderful. We did actually have a couple more come in. There was a question about purchasing fleece for Spiny.
Yeah, that's kind of a Donegal thing. Yeah, yeah. Let me look into that for you. There is the opportunity to do, but they are it's not widely available. But
Okay,
Donegal would be the place for that.
fantastic. And you had mentioned the Writers Club. Do you have more information on that?
The Writers Club?
Yeah, the Writers Club. Did you mention that in your presentation? No?
No, might be
Oh,
a type error there.
okay, sorry. And do the hotels that we stay at have fitness opportunities like bikes and gyms and workout
Some
equipment?
of them do. Yes, some of them
Okay,
do. But we're on
fantastic.
vacation
I
and we're eating
know. Well,
Irish breakfast. Don't worry about the gym.
maybe that's why we're on the bike, is so we can eat the Irish breakfast. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We are sort of commencing this Q&A session. So if you have any other questions for Kiva, please send them through. We'll pass them along to her. So thank you once again for such an informative presentation. It was excellent. We can't wait to come and see you and see your beautiful country. So now we're moving on. I will be asking a question for your chance to win a $100 future travel gift certificate with Senior Discovery Tours. The first person to place the correct answer in the Q&A box will be the lucky winner. The winner will be announced at the end of the presentation, so please stay with us. The question is Dublin on the east or the west coast of Ireland? Once again, the question is Dublin on the east or the west coast of Ireland? Don't miss our next exciting webinar taking place April 6th, featuring Israel with guest speaker Eden Giva. Be sure to subscribe to our e-newsletter on our website to receive a free Zoom invite directly into your inbox. Stay tuned for details regarding upcoming webinars on our social media. If you would like to learn more about Senior Discovery Tours, please stay with us as I will be providing more details about our tour types and remarkable inclusions. As the leader in escorted group tours for 45 years, we now offer over 200 tours and cruises, all with interesting itineraries, great value, and quality. The best part is all of our tours are guaranteed in Canadian funds with all taxes included and no hidden fees. To ensure that you have a carefree experience, here are just a few of the things we include on all our tours. We offer additional inclusions to enhance your tour experience. These include entry visas to those countries where it is required, waiting lists, as well as roommate matching programs. Our optional services allow you to curate your own travel experience. We offer air extensions, flight upgrades, room or cabin upgrades, as well as optional excursions on select tours. Now, on to some of our exclusive tours and what they offer. We have Flight Plus Coach tours. These are multi-city tours, which means more hotel changes and with lots of movement, ensuring tons of excitement. Listed here are some of our more popular flight and coach tours. Just as the term suggests, these tours are best suited for those that enjoy staying in one location and exploring its surroundings. These tours are much more leisurely, allowing for time to relax and also enjoy excursions. Here are just a few examples. Next, we have our 2 and 3 center holidays, focusing on 2 or 3 different regions or countries. These tours are excellent if you want to combine a couple of locations but still have plenty of time to explore. Listed here are some of our most popular 2 and 3 center holidays. Another vacation type is our classical coach tour. These tours are perfect for those who do not care to travel abroad and wish to have an experience closer to home. And adventurous travelers who enjoy moving around while taking in incredible scenery love our walking and hiking tours. Truly a wonderful way to travel. Offering a completely different perspective and unique way of traveling, it's easy to see why our rail tours are becoming increasingly popular. And for those wanting more adventure and never-ending opportunities for discovery, consider our exotic destinations. These tours are sure to delight anyone ready for an exciting journey. And lastly, Senior Discovery Tours now offers 30 different cruises in locations all over the world. You will have access to hundreds of activities and amenities, not to mention incredible views. Here are some of our more popular cruises. The time has come to reveal our lucky winner. All right, let me have a look here, see who it is. Okay. Let me just see who the winner is here. And the winner is Rosemary Benbow. Congratulations. You are our lucky winner of a $100 future travel voucher with Senior Discovery Tours. We will be in touch with you shortly to claim your prize. The correct answer was East. Dublin is located on the east coast of Ireland. We are doing our very best to stay ahead of any travel-related updates that may affect your current plans and to offer guidance when considering your next tour with us. Let's believe that this year's warmer months are going to open a lot more opportunity for travel to foreign countries and the opportunity to get back to exploring our dream destinations. We will continue to offer the easiest, most enjoyable, and informative booking process, which will soon include online booking. A big thank you to all our loyal customers who have been posting such fantastic reviews on social media over the past year. Please continue to let us know about your past travels and memories with Senior Discovery Tours. And feel free to also send us any suggestions for future destination webinars. You can follow us on all social media platforms. These addresses can be found on our website. We hope to see you again at our next webinar. Please take good care of yourselves and each other. Have a wonderful afternoon.